Hello and welcome to Meditations for Mortals. I am Lindsay Milner. Meditations for Mortals is Oliver Burkeman's book, a 4-week guide to doing what counts. And he suggests in this book that what we do is we take one chapter a day and reflect on the content of that chapter. We're into week 3, we're on to day 16, and that is called the reverse golden rule on not being your own worst enemy. And the golden rule, you're probably aware, is that you should treat other people as you would wish to be treated yourself. But Burkeman has flipped this because he points out that often we are our own worst enemy. We're far harsher and harder on ourselves in the way that we talk to ourselves, our internal self-talk, than we would be to a friend. We beat ourselves up mentally because of some perceived failing, for something that we haven't done, or some mistake that we might have made, or for not getting stuff done in the way that we wanted to get it done, for not being as productive as we'd want to be. We're far harsher to ourselves than we would be to a friend who made the same mistake. He mentions the phrase self-compassion. He says he doesn't like it because it feels a little bit cringy. And I get what he means about that, but self-compassion, it's a close relative of self-acceptance. It's not quite the same thing, but they do share a lot of similarities. And to offer ourselves compassion, we would share in that sort of that common humanity, the common failings that, you know, lots of people don't always live up to their expectations on a particular occasion. But we wouldn't be really harsh towards a friend who'd made that mistake. So to offer ourselves compassion is really to treat ourselves in that same way. And he uses an example. He talks of another writer who decided that actually, instead of beating myself up for the things that I haven't done, and that, you know, I need to get on with this stuff and I don't want to, and so I avoid it. And he says that what she decided to do was to do the things she wanted to do as a priority. And she started off being really scared about this because she felt like, oh, well, I won't do anything then, I'll just sit and scroll on Instagram all day. But in actual fact, if she did what she wanted to do, she was more motivated to just get on and do the things that she still knew she needed to do, she had to do for some commitment. We're more likely to want to meet our commitments if we feel that there's something that we want to do. I might actually just read out a short extract because it does kind of feel like, yes, that is how we go through lives. She said what she did instead was that she would do things that she was annoyed because she wasn't doing the things that she wanted to do, things that were important to her, like meditating, journaling, going to the gym. She set schedules over and over, and she failed way more than she succeeded, which makes me really, really upset. I get angrier and angrier at myself, curse my lack of discipline, shame myself for watching Battlestar Galactica again. It be Friends for me. I'd be watching Friends over and over. Instead of writing, delve into my psychology, hoping to unearth the seeds of self-sabotage. It spirals out of control until I either give in to lying on the couch or somehow manage to squeeze out a day of discipline according to schedule. Whereupon I exhale a half sigh of relief and immediately begin bullying myself to repeat this tomorrow. It sucks. So from realising all of that, that's why she decided to try something different, and decided to try doing the things that she felt like doing when she felt like doing them. And as I say, was immediately like, oh, what if I don't get any of the important things done? But she found that actually she was getting far more done. So I think think this does bring us back to self-compassion. What she was doing was offering herself the choice, the autonomy, the compassion to do the things that she wanted to do, and that included some of the commitments that she needed to do, because she'd stopped being hard on herself over it, because she'd exercised that self-compassion, that self-care. She found I hesitate to say motivation, because motivation's the wrong word, but she found that she was able to get the things she wanted to get done far more successfully and more often. I have spent quite a lot of time trying to work towards this also, and I am very often still quite hard on myself, but I find it's a tough line to walk, because I'd said to a friend a couple of days ago, oh yeah, I need to do better, and she said, I don't like that phrase, and I thought it was the need that she was picking up on, and said, well, okay, I want to do better. And she came back and she said, no, it's the do better that I don't like. It implies a kind of reproach. And I wasn't feeling that at the time. I didn't want to, I felt like I'd be making excuses if I accepted that I couldn't improve what I was doing. But the language that she used was more about improve rather than do better. So I guess she put some loading onto that wording that I wasn't feeling. I think sometimes we do have to accept that, yeah, I didn't quite do what I wanted to do, and there were reasons for that, and so I am offering myself the compassion. I'm not criticising myself, I'm not berating myself, I'm more looking at it and thinking, I fell a bit short, what can I do to do better? What can I do to not fall short in that way as I continue forwards? So it's a bit of a fine line, and I think it's good to be aware that sometimes we do need to offer ourselves a little bit of compassion. Yeah, I think my feelings about this is it's another one that's a little bit, I'm a bit conflicted about it, because are you going to let yourself off the hook? Are you going to make excuses for yourself, or are you going to be more productive because you are accepting of your reality and your situation? So it's like a lot of these things. There's a fine line, and I'm going to start quoting Aristotle now, because he talks about the golden mean. So not just the golden rule, the golden mean, that you can be too harsh on yourself, or you can be too easy on yourself. And what you need to do by offering yourself compassion is to tread that fine line, that golden mean of where you are facing up to the reality of where you've fallen short, but not criticising yourself and putting yourself down because of it. So yeah, that's I've talked for longer today, because I think maybe I am sort of thinking a little bit harder about this one, because I do think it's something that I personally need to come to grips with, to get that line, to get that balance just right. And I guess it's a work in progress. It's something I will probably always be trying to balance. So that is today, day 16, the reverse golden rule on not being your own worst enemy. Meditations for Mortals by Oliver Burkeman, a 4-week guide to doing what counts. I'm Lindsay Milner, and I will see you tomorrow for day 17. Bye.